MW1Stop's crowned legends. The information for this story comes from the internet and may not be accurate. Midnight Star, the untold story of R&B's rise, struggles, and legacy. Midnight Star is one of those bands that perfectly represents the duality of R&B and funk in the 1980s. Glittering highs of chart-topping success, crushing lows of creative battles, and a legacy that continues to echo through modern R&B, funk, and hip-hop samples. This is the story of a group of college kids who dream big, climb the mountain of stardom, and face the trials that come with success, fame, and the pressures of staying relevant in an ever-changing music industry. What follows is their journey, the good, the bad, the ups, and the downs. The birth of a dream. Midnight Star didn't come from flashy beginnings. Their roots trace back to Kentucky State University in 1976, where a group of musically inclined students, Belinda Lipscomb, Melvin Gentry, Bo Watson, Jeff Cooper, Kenneth Gant, Reggie Calloway, and Bill Simmons, decided to form a band. At the time, disco was still roaring, funk was evolving, and R&B was finding new flavors. Inspired by groups like Parliament Funkadelic, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Kool and the Gang, these young musicians believed they could carve out their own identity. They named themselves Midnight Star, a title evoking both mystery and brilliance. They weren't just another college band, they had ambition. They played around campus, gained a reputation for tight harmonies and electrifying live sets, and began dreaming of hitting the national stage. Building momentum. Like most groups, Midnight Star's early years were about hustle. They piled into vans, played small clubs, and earned fans one show at a time. The big break came when they caught the attention of Solar Records, a label that had already helped launch acts like Shalimar, The Whispers, and Lakeside. Signing with Solar in 1979, the group had finally made it to the professional ranks. But success didn't happen overnight. Their first couple of albums, The Beginning, 1980, and Standing Together, 1981, were solid funk R&B projects, but they didn't make huge waves on the charts. Still, they were laying groundwork. Their musicianship was undeniable. Their stage shows were full of energy, and the chemistry between lead singer Belinda Lipscomb and the band was magnetic. Midnight Star just needed that one breakthrough record. No Parking on the Dance Floor, The Explosion. That breakthrough came in 1983 with the release of their album, No Parking on the Dance Floor. This wasn't just another funk record, it was an electrifying fusion of synth-heavy beats, infectious hooks, and futuristic production. The album included tracks like Freakazoid, a robotic funk anthem that became a dance floor staple, Wet My Whistle. Smooth yet funky, it showcased their knack for mixing party grooves with polished melodies. No Parking on the Dance Floor, the title track catchy and built for the clubs. The album went platinum, selling over 1 million copies, and catapulted Midnight Star into the national spotlight. Suddenly, they were no longer just a college-formed band. They were stars on the R&B and funk circuit. Their live shows turned legendary, packed with flashy outfits, choreographed routines, and state-of-the-art synths. Midnight Star was the complete package, and the good times were rolling. Riding the wave. Following the success of No Parking on the Dance Floor, Midnight Star doubled down with Planetary Invasion, 1984. This album gave them another smash hit, Operator, a playful, futuristic jam that reached #1 on the Billboard R&B chart and crossed over into mainstream radio. The group was living the dream. Platinum albums, sold-out tours, music videos on constant rotation. They had achieved what every college band dreamed of, global recognition. But success has a way of sowing seeds of conflict. The cracks begin to show. By the mid-1980s, internal tensions were bubbling. Much of Midnight Star's sound and success came from Reggie and Vincent Calloway, two brothers in the group who were the principal songwriters and producers. But creative differences started to cause friction. Some members wanted to explore different sounds, while others felt overshadowed. Money and credit disputes also entered the picture. After their 1986 album Headlines, which featured hits like Midas Touch and Engine Number 9, the Calloway brothers decided to leave Midnight Star. They formed their own group, simply called Calloway, and went on to score a major hit in 1990 with I Wanna Be Rich. For Midnight Star, this was both a blessing and a curse. They had room to evolve without the Calloway brothers, but they had lost the creative masterminds who had guided their biggest successes. struggling to stay afloat. Without the Callaways, Midnight Star continued. But the landscape of R&B was changing. The late 1980s saw the rise of New Jack Swing. Hip-hop was becoming dominant, and funk bands were struggling to adapt. They released Midnight Star, 1988, and Work It Out. Neither album captured the magic of their earlier success. Sales dipped, chart positions fell, and the once sparkling Midnight Star seemed to be dimming. Still, they remained a respected touring act. Fans who grew up on Freakazoid and Operator continued to fill seats, but the momentum had undeniably slowed. Reinvention attempts. The 1990s were not easy. Many funk and R&B bands from the 70s and 80s struggled in this era, and Midnight Star was no exception. Midnight Star wasn't topping charts, but they were carving out another role, legacy performers. Their classics were timeless, and the rise of sampling and hip-hop meant that a new generation was rediscovering their music. Legacy in hip-hop and R&B. One of the surprising ups in Midnight Star's story is how hip-hop kept their sound alive. Freakazoid and No Parking on the Dance Floor were sampled by countless DJs and rappers. Their futuristic sound influenced producers like Teddy Riley and later even Pharrell Williams. They became part of the DNA of funk-based hip-hop. While they may not have been topping Billboard anymore, their influence was embedded in the culture. Reunion and resilience. By the late 1990s and 2000s, Midnight Star had embraced their status as a legendary R&B act. They reunited for special performances, sometimes with the Calloway Brothers, sometimes without. They appeared on old school tours alongside bands like Lakeside, the SOS Band, and Con-Funk Shun. Crowds of fans, many who grew up in the 80s, packed into arenas and outdoor festivals, eager to relive the era when funk and R&B ruled. The group didn't chase trends anymore. They focused on what they did best, delivering feel-good, funky, nostalgic performances. The good, the bad, the ups and the downs. The story of Midnight Star is a roller coaster. The good, a group of college kids who dreamed big, scored platinum records, and left a permanent mark on funk and R&B. The bad, creative battles, lineup changes, and the struggles of staying relevant in the 90s. The ups, chart-topping success with songs like Freakazoid and Operator, plus a reputation as one of the funkiest live acts of the 80s. The downs, internal splits, declining sales, and the harsh realities of the music industry. Through it all, Midnight Star never lost their identity. They are remembered not just for their hits, but for the way they made people feel, joy, energy, and the irresistible urge to dance. A lasting star. Today, Midnight Star is celebrated as one of the definitive funk/R&B groups of the 1980s. Their music continues to find new life in DJ sets, hip-hop samples, and nostalgic playlists. While the industry changed, one truth remained. Once you hear the robotic chant of Freakazoid or the smooth groove of Operator, you know Midnight Star's legacy is untouchable. They prove that even if stars fade, they never truly disappear. They just keep shining in new ways. Midnight Star's journey is a reminder that music is eternal, even when fame comes and goes. The information for this story comes from the internet and may not be accurate.